Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So I had to calculate the amount made plus the losses before I can now start this video. So obviously you can see it's down here. That is what have been made from this 3-hour intensive scalping, right? So this morning I actually challenged myself to see what's just about intensive scalping. I've seen a lot of traders do it. So what I want to say is it something that you can be doing for a lifetime, or is it something that's just come along and goes? Meaning, is it sustainable or not? So I challenged myself to a 3-hour intensive scalping. And within the 3 hours, what I wanted to do is use at least serious and concrete reasons to execute trades, not just executing trades because price is pushing all the way up. And in that 3 hours, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 trades. Out of these 6 trades, 4 were positive trades, meaning 4 were very, very good trades. And the 2 was just horrible trades because price pushed to its stop losses very, very fast. I mean, this one, the stop loss didn't actually get hit. I had to get out of the trade below this zone, which was around 40 watts. $400, which was around $400 right here, but this was 2k in losses. So yes, that's right, there was a very big loss. But let's look at it. So the first trade was SBS, that's the short bar strategy. Very, very nice. After the double bottom, we had the change of character, and immediately after the change of character, you execute your trade based on the candle that actually changed the character. Now, if there's a fair value gap or the candle is a fair value gap, you can always wait for a pullback before you execute, right? But the short bar strategy was marvelous. Price push all the way up intensively. Very nice. So the second trade I executed was what I was using BNR. That's a break and retest. So after price broke through this high, it came back for a retest and I waited for a confirmation, executed the trade. This was the targeted high. Price did not get to it and started rejecting. But since it had already given this lows right here, you can see it, since it has already given this lows right here, meaning that right there was already a red flag. So I had to get out of the trade, but in losses, in about $400 in losses. So times 2, that was $800, right? Now this right here actually pushed all the way down to TP. It was marvelous, and I was using a trend line. So what you notice is the trend lines that I actually used to execute, they were marvelous. This right here was also a trend line. It was marvelous. Trend line trades was almost 100% accurate. It was almost, because this is a 60% win rate, right? So the trend line was very, very good. Price push all the way towards the final TP. Very, very nice. But it turns out that every 1:2 risk to reward ratio, price will immediately turn around, right? So when you look at this was quite huge with the short bar strategy. But after 1:2, price pushed down. After every 1:2, price immediately reverses. So the average risk to reward ratio on a scalping trade on a 1-minute time frame should be 1:2. After the 1:2, your stop loss, or your stop loss should already be at break even. Now the third trade was very, very nice as well. I used a trend line, this trend line right here. Very, very nice. Price broke through, came back for a retest, and dropped all the way down to this zone right here. The third trade, as you can see, we had a change of character, but I had already learned my lessons, because this was the fourth trade. And because of the change of character, I executed my trade based on a Fibonacci retracement tool. I wanted price to come back to the 50 to 61, and that was it right there. Executed the trade, and price went straight to my stop loss, right? So because I had already learned my lesson around this zone, I wasn't going to repeat that again. No, I waited for that change of character. Price came back to this zone, had some massive push, and I just waited for a confirmation. I could also see that there was a trend line here, so I waited for price to break through it, and I executed my trade. As you can see, with the help of that trend line, price moved massively all the way up. Now, this was also a massive trade, but I couldn't get into this trade because I was still holding this. I can see that it was also a change of character. Price did not actually retest though, but yes, price shot down massively all the way down to this big pool. Now, this is actually a bigger time frame analysis, but because I just wanted to use only 1, 2, and 3 hours. So the third hour, only 1 trade, second hour, 3 trades, and the first hour was only 2 trades. So yes, you can actually scalp on 1-minute time frame, and you can even be an intensive scalper, right? But the highest risk to reward ratio should be what? 1:2. That should be it. 1:2. That should be your target. If you are not using a bigger time frame as guidance, your target should be 1:2, and that is it. You don't have to actually stress yourself again. But yes, that was just it. Now I have to actually tend to the bigger time frame to actually execute a better trade today, because I've not really been in any trades yet, so I have to do that. But yes, you can see the risk to reward, right? Even after executing all these trades, I'll show you these trades, right? So even after executing all these trades, the reward is still good, because yes, only 2 losses and 4 wins. That is still a very good risk to reward ratio, and the wins are quite huge as compared to the losses, right? So yes, that's a very good thing. And you can always use trend lines, and I think trend lines and the SBS strategy is one of the best strategies for 1 minute time frames, right? If you are going to be using change of characters and probably BOS, you probably have a problem, or you have to wait for a very long time before you execute trades. But yes, that's just it. So I have to look forward to executing a proper trade today. Now, what I can see for sure happening is a trend line. I'll probably use it or maybe not. So I can see a trend line here, and I can also see a bigger trend line up there. So this is another bigger trend line up here. So what should I do? First of all, I don't really have to concentrate on this bigger trend line until price breaks above it, right? I should rather concentrate on this second trend line right here. What happened before the push all the way down? We can see something that looks like a consolidation. So yes, price consolidated before the massive drop, and we came back to retest the lows right here. So indirectly, price is looking forward to continuing that downtrend. So I can equally just execute a trade right now. So I'm executing 2 trades right now. Where should my stop loss be? My stop loss should be above this high right here. That is just it. That's just it. Very, very nice. So yes, that was just it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. You can equally scalp, but yes, it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of analysis, right? But let's see where this trend is actually pushing forward to, because I can see a lot of um a squeeze right here. This is a squeeze. Price is squeezing around this zone, but that squeeze is not indicating an uptrend, it's indicating a downtrend. So maybe we might drop through this and reach this zone right here, or maybe not. But let's see what happens with that trade. So yes, this is it right here. I think this video is done. I'm just executing a normal trade right now, so the video is done. The 3 hour trade is done. But let's see what happens, because I think my first TP will just hit in about a couple of seconds, because the squeeze is quite serious. When you look at it right here, this is a very serious and tight squeeze. So the drop is going to be very, very fast and very, very serious. The price will drop massively, right?